Perfecto, pues vamos a comenzar. Mi nombre es Carla Plasencia y en nombre de Student World les doy la bienvenida a esta live session con Georgetown University y su centro de inglés. Les presento a nuestros expositores del día de hoy. Tenemos a Regan Carver, coordinador del programa. También tenemos aquí a Cristina Koenig, subdirectora de gestión de inscripciones, y a Maddie Templet, coordinadora de servicios estudiantiles. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and let's begin with the presentation.
Welcome, and thank you for attending this informational webinar from Georgetown University today. Again, my name is Regan Carver, Program Coordinator. I'm joined by my colleague, Maddie Templeton, Student Services Coordinator, and Christina Koenig, Assistant Director of Enrollment Management. And before we go forward, we'd like to have you answer a short poll regarding how long you've studied English. Great. Looks like most people have done the poll. Here at Georgetown University, we'd like to talk about the mission and history of our English Language Center, the program options for all of you thinking about studying English, life in Washington, D.C., our response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and also to give you some information on how to apply for our programs. Our mission is very important to us. We focus on academic excellence in our English language instruction. We integrate intensive English preparation, critical thinking, and cultural awareness that we impart on all students. We help you improve your English fluency for academic, professional, and personal life, depending on the program that you sign up for. And we have dynamic and innovative courses taught in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. The history of the Georgetown English Language Center goes back to the 1950s. We're one of the oldest English language programs in the United States. And we're located on the university's downtown campus in downtown Washington, D.C., where academic excellence meets cultural immersion. The faculty and staff of Georgetown are committed to helping each student maximize their learning opportunities. And it all comes from the spirit of Georgetown, where personalized attention to students is grounded in our Jesuit values of academic excellence, educating the whole person, interreligious understanding, community and diversity, and community service. We have many well-known teachers of English who present at conferences and also have even written instructional books. And they also focus on teacher training, which helps for teaching English students in the classroom. And of course, myself, Christina, and Maddie are part of the caring and supportive staff. We have one more poll to ask you about your English learning goals. Great. I'll continue with the presentation now. Our intensive academic English program is designed to help you develop the academic skills you need to successfully transition into academic life at a U.S. college or university. We boast small class sizes, 8-week terms, which starts in August, October, January, March, and May. Again, it's great to have 8-week terms so that you can come when it's most convenient for you. Each of the 8-week terms focuses on integrated academic skill building, college application advising, and each of our professors offers personalized office hour visits with faculty as well as staff. And it would be great for you to experience DC in the fall season. If you're interested in improving your conversational English, we have intensive language and culture program for you. Improve your English language skills while gaining a deeper understanding of American culture and how to communicate in a variety of cultural settings. It boasts small class sizes, again, 8-week sessions with starts in August, October, January, March, and May. And one of the core courses is integrated listening and speaking to help you build confidence in your communication with speakers of English as a native language, and of course, experience DC life and culture. Our intensive English program is great for people who would like to build confidence in English for professional settings. Refine your English skills while understanding American professional practices in business and public policy, as well as the critical leadership and networking skills you'll need for success. Always, students benefit from small class sizes, 8-week sessions, starting in August, October, January, and March. There will also be integrated listening and speaking classes to help you build confidence in your professional English. Of course, and experience DC life and culture. I see there's some chats here. Sí, puedo hablar sobre Intensive Professional English en español un poco. Tenemos clases pequeñas, sesiones que son de 8 semanas, empezando en agosto, octubre, enero, en marzo. Y las clases le ayudan a ganar confianza, a tener más confianza en su inglés para el lugar de trabajo. Y disculpe que mi español no es tan perfecto, pero bueno, lucho. Another one of our popular programs is American Conversational English. It'll be online during the summer of 2020. And the program combines daily remote classroom instruction to enhance your ability to communicate in real-life situations. By the end of the class, you'll have not only stronger English language skills, but also a deeper understanding of life and culture in the United States. You'll benefit from small virtual workshops, 2-week sessions that start July 13th and run until the 24th, or July 27th and run until August 7th. Build conversational English skills through daily classes that are 7.5 hours per week, and they go from 9 to 10:30 each morning over 2 weeks. ¿Alguna pregunta? También puedo explicarlo un poco en español, que si usted quiere mejorar su inglés para usar de conversación, este es el mejor que puede escribir. And so now, continuing, I'm going to hand it off to Maddie Templeton, the Student Services Coordinator with our program.
De Washington. Soy Maddie, soy la coordinadora de servicios estudiantales. Les voy a explicar como puedo en español de la respuesta de la Universidad de Georgetown y sus acciones de responder a la crisis de COVID-19. En marzo empezamos a mover todas las clases en una sala virtual. Y de ahora todavía todavía la universidad no tomó una decisión por otoño, si vamos a estar cara a cara en el campus o si vamos a continuar virtualmente. Pero les digo que si todavía estamos en el classroom virtual, es un buen chance para aprender con nuestros profes y recibirán la misma calidad de enseñar. Y no hay requisito de visa para viajar. Y todavía usamos los sistemas de la universidad como Zoom y Canvas para mejorar su experiencia de aprender. Y igualmente van a recibir un certificado de Georgetown, si estamos en el campus o si estamos remoto. Ok. Y también ofrecemos programas, eventos, además de sus clases online. Y esas son oportunidades para practicar su idioma, practicar inglés, conocer a sus compañeros de clase de todo el mundo. Y también hacemos talleres para mejorar su pronunciación y conocer mejor la cultura de los Estados Unidos. Y esperamos que en este año que viene vamos a volver a nuestro campus en Washington, y nuestro campus está ubicado en el centro, justo en el centro de Washington, súper cerca del metro, de las estaciones de bus, y toda la transportación es súper fácil llegar al campus. Washington queda súper cerca de Nueva York, Filadelfia, y pues se puede llegar a esas ciudades en horas, como 3 o 4 horas. Y también hay vuelos hasta Atlanta, Chicago, Miami, Boston y muchas ciudades. Como dije antes, nuestro campus queda súper cerca de los sitios turísticos de Washington. Los más conocidos como los monumentos, el Capitol, y esos sitios que mucha gente quiere conocer. Y también en el programa ofrecemos excursiones y un chance para visitar a restaurantes, partidos de deportes, y eventos y museos en la área de Washington. And some people are asking me to also say it in English, so I'll say it in both. I just want to emphasize that that our location in Washington is in the center, downtown, really close to the major landmarks and sites that, a lot of people come to visit. And so we offer a lot of excursions and chances to visit those locations. I take students to different sports games, to different events and museums in the area. A little bit about fall and winter in Washington, D.C. We get all 4 seasons in Washington, D.C., so we get a hot summer and a very cold winter. And so we always tell students to prepare for both. We get, snow in the winter, but we get a very hot summer where you can go to the beach. So that's one of the benefits of being in Washington, is that you get those seasons. Okay, we do lots of events in person as well. And like I mentioned, this is a chance to get to know your classmates. This is a chance to practice your English. And it's a chance to get to know American culture and life in DC. Y como dije, ofrecemos muchos eventos, y esos son un buen chance para conocer a sus compañeros de clases de todo el mundo, practicar su inglés y conocer la cultura de Estados Unidos y Washington. Okay, and so I just want to show you some of the photos from this past year. We have events where we take students to a pumpkin farm in the fall. We visit the monuments. We had a Halloween party, and we have events that are led by students, where students can really be involved. and practice leadership and English. And I'll just show you some more. You know, in the winter, we go ice skating. In the summer, we go to baseball games, we go kayaking. And, you know, we go to festivals such as the Cherry Blossom Festival in the spring, which draws millions of people to see the flowers bloom. And if you have not already, I would encourage you to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we're very active. So if you want to see what our programs are like, I would encourage you to follow us at Georgetown ELC on those platforms. I would also encourage you to follow our blog at elc.georgetown.domains. To see what life in DC is like, to see what our students are doing, to see their stories, and to see what we do in our program and what our students do after they leave our program, whether they go on to continue work in their home country or they start at a university. We have lots of great stories on there, so I'd encourage you to follow us. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Regan to give you more information that I know you all want to know, such as how to apply and the cost of living.
Great. Thanks again, Maddie. Great presentation. So for everyone who's interested in applying, again, we have the intensive academic English program, which is 8 weeks. We have the intensive language and culture program, which is 8 weeks with 5 start dates throughout the year, and intensive professional English. The upcoming 8-week program is from August 24th to October 16th. And the second session is October 19th to December 11th. And the deadlines for those are July 5th, 15th, and September 1st. And also, if you're interested in the American Conversational English program, the deadline is coming up for that, which starts in July. But we'll talk about that as well. So just for you to know, the tuition cost for the intensive academic English course, which lasts 8 weeks, is $10,000.68. For intensive language and culture, it's also $10,000.68. And that also includes the tuition as well as the cost of living. Just wanted to mention that, not tuition alone. And intensive professional English, 8 weeks starting in August 24th, is also the same $10,068 for living expenses, health insurance, books, as well as tuition. The tuition for the online American Conversational English program is $550 for each 2-week session. So we're really happy that everybody joined us today for the webinar presentation. We hope that you'll ask any questions that you have during this question and answer. And also, if you have any questions that come up after the session is over, please email us at guelc@georgetown.edu. And of course, you can visit our website at elc.georgetown.edu.
Thank you, Regan. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple questions that came out. One was on scholarships. Unfortunately, our program does not offer any scholarships. And then as for the cost, so Regan went over the page regarding our program costs. That cost is an estimated cost for students if you want to study in the U.S. on an immigration document, the Form I-20, which we do issue that document. That's just the amount of funding you would need to show. Now the tuition alone is $4,668. It's a per credit rate. So that's just the tuition alone. And this is for 8-week programs. And then as for the fall semester for regarding the COVID-19 pandemic, unfortunately at this time, the university has not made a decision about the pandemic. About the decision whether we will be online or on campus. We are waiting for a decision to be announced from the university. And as soon as we know, we are going to inform students and have that posted on our website.
Someone is asking, is there any previous requirement for the programs?
Christina?
All right, so our programs, none of our programs require you to have any previous or prerequisites, except for our professional English. We do prefer students to have at least a bachelor's degree, and you have to have a certain level of English for that. For the admissions process for that program, you can provide a TOEFL, but it's not required. If you want to enroll in the program, but you take a placement test once you attend, and you do not place in that level, then you won't. You'll start in a lower level, and then once you improve your English, you'll be able to enter that program. But the rest do not require a certain level.
They don't require a certain level, but there still is the requirement of completing high school. And I believe you have to be 18 within the first semester of the program as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have to complete high school and be 18 years old.
Thank you, Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is asking over here as well if you have any age limit.
No.
So you have to be at least 18 years of age once you turn within 6 months of the program starting. But as for a maximum age limit, there's no limit.
Yeah, there's no limit. And I will say we have students of all ages. So we have students who have just finished high school and they're 18 or 19. We have students who want to start a master's program and who are maybe between 25 and 30. And then we also have students who are later in their career and a bit, could be any age. So we really do have a variety of ages in our program.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I know you already talked about this, Regan, but if you can talk about it a little bit more, can you talk us about the accommodation? What happened with that? I have to cost for my own, or is it included in the program?
Yeah, I can answer that one. So well, actually, I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood. The total cost of the estimated costs include the cost of living. There's no housing provided as part of the program, although you do, if we are on campus, students do have the option to live on campus. And so the estimated cost does include the estimated cost of living or housing or accommodation, but we don't provide that for you unless you request it.
Okay, thank you, Mari.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also offer online courses?
The course of American Conversational English is going to be online this summer, but then we don't know whether we're going to be online or in the classroom this fall. And so that may be online, but we're not sure yet.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to say that we don't normally offer classes online. Really, us being in a remote environment is a response to COVID-19. So normally all of our classes are offered face-to-face in person.
Great. Mari, I'm sorry, I know you already explained this, but could you try to explain the costs and accommodation in Spanish?
Sure. Sí, el costo de vivir o sea, el costo de acomodación está incluido del costo estimado. O sea, el costo total. Pero, y los estudiantes tienen la opción de vivir en el campus, pero hay que pedir esa opción y hay que empezar en enero, en verano, en mayo o en agosto. O sea, para vivir en el campus hay que estar por un semestre entero de 16 semanas. Ustedes tienen esa opción, pero no está incluido en su matrícula.
Ah, sí.
Ok, perfecto.
Uh-huh.
Someone is asking as well, if I want to start the process, how do I start?
Para la aplicación dices,
Exactamente.
sí, usted, el estudiante tiene que ir al sitio de red que es elc.georgetown.edu y luego va a la página de cada programa. Intensive Academic English, Intensive Professional English, Intensive Language and Culture. Y ahí hay un botón que dice aplicar. Y puede hacer la aplicación en inglés o en español.
Excellent. Thank you, Regan. Okay. Someone is asking also if the tourist visa is enough or do they have to get a student visa?
La visa bueno, la visa de turista sirve si usted está tomando el curso American Conversational English, ACE, o si todo el programa está virtual online. Pero si va a ir al campus, hay que tener una visa de estudiante.
Okay. Do you help them with the visa process or do they have to do it on their own?
I'll answer that one. So for the immigration process for the Form I-20 and the F1 visa, we issued the Form I-20. Students will apply to have a separate application process for that, and then we'll issue that document and send it to you. But as for the F1 visa with the U.S. Embassy or consulate in your home country, that's not something the school can help with. It's a separate process.
Thank you, Christina. They are asking also, what will be the dates for the next year?
Yes, I can share those dates. So for this, are you referring to make sure I understand for the January 2021?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for January 2021, it'll be from the first 8-week session is from January 11th to March 5th. And then the second session will be from March 15th to May 7th. There is a 1-week break in between the two sessions.
Okay. Cecilia here is asking, can I get a job while I'm there?
The answer for that is no. One of the regulations on an F1 student visa is you cannot work. You can work on campus, but for the intensive English program, we prefer our students not to work on campus because your goal while you're in the U.S. is to study English. But once you continue to a degree program, you can.
Thank you very much. I know you already talked about this, but just to clarify, can you please share with us the cost for the online program?
So for the Regan, do you want to get that for the online ACE program? The cost?
Sure. For the online ACE program, there's 2 sessions. In each session of 2 weeks cost $550. If you decided to attend 2-week sessions, it would be $1,100 US.
Angela here is asking, what is the price for a whole semester?
So the tuition for, if you study for one semester, which is 16 weeks, it's $9,336, and that's just for the tuition. That does not include the estimated living and personal expenses or health insurance and books. So if you wanted to study for full 16 weeks for one semester, the amount you would need to show to apply for your Form I-20 would be just under $21,000.
I saw one other question about what's the difference between intensive professional English and intensive academic English. I'll explain it in English. So the intensive professional English prepares you to have more confidence and more tools to succeed in a professional workplace, or also communicating for public policy purposes. However, the intensive academic English program is really focused on helping you prepare to be successful in a U.S. college or university program, and that's at the undergraduate level or at the graduate PhD level. And just to say one more thing about that, we have a long record of having successful graduates go to the University of Notre Dame and be successful, George Washington University, Georgetown Law Center, Georgetown School of Foreign Service, etc.
Thank you, Regan. Diana is asking over here, do you have any special training or course for teachers?
Yes, we have a program called the Teaching. We have a certificate program called the Teaching English as a Foreign Language program, which is online with a on-campus practicum component. And so if you send us an email inquiry about it, we can send information about that program, which is called the TEFL program.
Great. Karen over here is asking, if I have a B1 English certificate, will I start from there, or will I have to do an exam, know my English level?
So for that, that's not really something we could answer. It depends on, it would go on case by case. We would look into it for consideration for your placement. And it would also depend on how long ago you took that test, but preferably we'd want you to take the placement test upon arrival during orientation.
Yes, Maddie, go ahead.
Oh, I saw one that I think Sandra was asking if we have any health insurance with this program. And every student that comes who is on an F1 student visa is enrolled in our health insurance. So you will have health insurance during the time that you're studying that covers emergencies while you're here. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you, Mari. Jose Antonio is asking if you could explain this in English and Spanish, it would be great. That how can they pay for the program? Do you have like different modes?
Regan, do you want me to take that one?
Sure.
Yeah, so yeah, there are different modes that you can pay. I'll start in English and then in Spanish. You can pay after you enroll. So after you start the program, we charge the tuition, and you pay it through your Georgetown student account, which you can pay with a debit card or credit card with a charge. So there is a little fee. You can also do an international bank transfer through a system that Georgetown uses called Flywire. And that's something we do, is we assist students to help them pay after they arrive. Y en español, todos pagan después de llegar en el programa. Y se puede pagar por su cuenta de Georgetown, por tarjeta de crédito, débito, pero con una mula, una carga adicional. Y también se puede pagar con una transferencia de banco por un sistema que se llama Flywire, que usa todo Georgetown y les asistan después de llegar con el proceso de pagar.
Thank you very much, Maddie. Someone here wants to know what documents are required to get into the courses.
So there's two applications process. There's the application to the program, and for that you fill out our online application and submit either your high school transcript or your college transcript, whatever you have a higher degree in. I need to see proof that you've graduated. That's it for the application. There's a $75 application fee. But then for the immigration process, for the Form I-20, there's financial documentations and some additional documents that we require students to submit.
Thank you, Christina. Someone is asking if I want to go next year and has changed.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Oh, let me repeat that. If I want to go next year in August, will the prices change?
Possibly. We don't know. Every year around, I believe it's February or March is when this university looks at all the credits and the credit rate. So it depends if that price goes up. I do know our tuition has stayed the same from last year. So hopefully, I cannot guarantee that though.
I also see that Maritza had a question of the $515 for the 2-week online course, if it's monthly for 8 weeks. Bueno, digo en español, el curso de American Conversational English es de 2 semanas y por eso es $515 americanos. No es de las 8 semanas que por supuesto cuesta más.
Thank you, Regan. Daniela is asking that if for online courses, does she also needs to be at least 18 years old?
By the end of the course, she would need to be.
Also, someone says here, I would be interested in intensive professional English for fall 2021 in August. How many days in advance should I contact you to make the necessary procedure?
So if you're interested in applying for next fall for fall 2021, you should apply by the deadline, which will be July 15th, 2021. So you can once the application opens, you can apply anytime within there. But just keep in mind, if you're going to need a Form I-20, that's an additional application process. So once you've been admitted and you've confirmed your enrollment, it takes about another month at maximum to issue the immigration document. It normally takes about a week, but it just depends on if there's any issues, how long it takes you to submit the documents.
Thank you. Diego is here asking, how much time do you consider it is necessary to become a B2 level?
I can try to answer that one. I think it's so hard to answer the questions about reaching certain levels of a language because it's different for every person. You know, we have some people that start at a very low level and then within 1 year, they're attending the law center because they worked really, really hard to do that. And then with other students, it takes a little bit longer, maybe because they're not practicing outside of the classroom as much. And it takes them a little bit more time to advance in those levels. So I know this is not an easy answer that everyone wants to hear, but it really depends on the person. A lot of our students, they could be in our program from anywhere from 1 semester, so 4 months, or to half a year, up until 2 years. But it depends on the effort that you put into the program.
Thank you very much, Mari. Someone here, Maria, is asking if you offer any courses for people under 18 years old.
Yeah, this is Regan. Unfortunately, we don't through the English Language Center. There may be courses through the summer sessions that Georgetown offers for high school students, but through the English Language Center, we don't.
Thank you, Regan. Angel is asking that for the 2-week online course, how many hours a day is the course?
It's 1.5 hours.
Someone is asking, Mari, if you can just repeat the answer about the B2 level in Spanish.
Ok, sí. Es que muchos nos preguntan de cuánto tiempo tarda para llegar a un nivel u otro, pero no hay una respuesta fácil porque de verdad depende del estudiante. Tenemos estudiantes, por ejemplo, que empiezan en un nivel muy básico y después de un año ya están estudiando en el centro de derechos. Pero también tenemos estudiantes que para ellos dura un poquito tiempo más porque quizás no están hablando fuera de sus cursos. Así que es súper importante para los estudiantes que quieren avanzar, que practican lo más que puedan fuera de sus cursos para mejorar, porque de verdad depende mucho su esfuerzo, y perdón que no hay una respuesta fácil por esa pregunta. Pero sí, I encourage you, no sé cómo se dice, de practicar fuera de solo de sus cursos.
Muchísimas gracias, Mari. Maria is asking here, I need to develop my listening skills. So what do you suggest? Is it better to go and live there or take the online course?
Should I answer in English or in Spanish?
I think if you could do it in both, it would be great.
Okay. Well, for example, it would be great to take the American Conversational English course, if that works, and then come take the Intensive Language and Culture program, which also focuses on conversational English. It really the time that the student has. Estoy haciendo la sugerencia de tomar, bueno, si puede tomar ambos cursos del programa American Conversational English, también con Intensive Language and Culture después, será lo preferido, y como depende del tiempo que tiene el estudiante para dedicar a aprender inglés.
Thank you very much, Regan. Carlos is asking, what does living means in the cost? What does it include?
So the estimated living costs, that is just what the school and the local government, the DC government, estimate what it costs to live in the DC area. You could spend more, you could spend less. It all depends on where you decide to live and where, how much money you spend. Like if you go out to eat every night, you're going to spend more money. If you cook at home, you spend less. But it's just an estimated cost. It does not it's not something you pay us. The only thing you pay the school is the tuition and the health insurance.
Thank you very much, Christina. They are asking over here if you can like list the differences or the main difference between each course.
Regan, I'll
Regan,
let you
do you
take
want to?
Sure. So the main differences, I think, as I went through the program, went through the presentation, is that intensive language and culture, think conversational English. Intensive professional English, think English for the workplace. Intensive academic English, English for success at the next level in undergraduate or graduate studies. So that's think conversational, workplace, academic. That's the main difference. And of course, if you take any of our courses of study, in the program, you'll have better grammar, you'll have an ability to study with amazing professors who have helped their students get to the next level in their lives. But again, just really think about what type of English you need to be successful. And also one thing that I would add is since we had recently split up our program into 8-week sessions, you could start in intensive language and culture and change to intensive professional English for the next 8-week session if you changed your mind on what you'd like to focus on.
Thank you so much, Regan. Viviana is asking about the COVID-19 problem. Is it, I guess she wants to know if you can still go there and have like the normal course, or how is it affecting the courses?
I can take that one. As of right now, all of the courses are in a virtual environment, meaning they are held online remotely. In DC right now, things are beginning to open up. Businesses are starting to be open, and they're starting to relax about the social distancing measures. But I think also a lot can change between now and August. And so the university still has not made a decision about whether we'll be in a virtual environment or back on the main campus.
I would like to add one more thing to that. So for the summer semester, we went virtual, we went online. And in that case, we did not issue any immigration documents. So any document that was issued was deferred to a future term. So please note, if you're applying for the fall semester and we issue you a Form I-20, but then the university comes out with a decision saying otherwise that we will not be on campus, you will not be able to use that I-20. It will be deferred. So that's something we'll work on a case by case and inform all students as soon as we have a decision from the university.
Thank you very much, girls. Another question over here from Nicolas is, he says that he's from Argentina, but he has an Italian passport. He asks with the ESTA, or does he need a student visa as well?
Yes, you would need a student visa. An ESTA visa is very similar to a tourist visa. So you cannot study on those. Both of those have restrictions on whether you can be full-time, and they do not allow students to study full-time. And our program is full-time.
Thank you very much. Paola here is asking, it's in Spanish, so my brain is translating.
No.
Yes?
¿Puedo responder a la pregunta si quiere en español?
Perfecto. Gracias, Regan.
Sí, lo que pasa, siempre es posible hacer una defer, lo digamos en el programa. Entonces, si usted paga para el curso de agosto y y llega a saber que vamos a hacer online y usted no quiere hacer online, es posible hacer un deferral para octubre o enero. And I'll also say that in English, it's very possible for you to sign up for our August 8-week term, and then if you change your mind, you can defer to October or January.
Julian is asking, I'm interested in taking a part of the course in the virtual mode and the other part on campus. Is it possible?
I can take that one. So if Georgetown makes a decision, it will either be 100% in person on campus or 100% in the virtual environment. There is a possibility that they could do a mix of both, that they might decide to do some days online, some days in person. We just don't know, but if that were the case, you would still have to be in Washington, D.C. But most likely it will either be 100% virtual or 100% in person.
Thank you, Mari. Regan, if you could explain the main difference between the courses in Spanish so we can close the Q&A session, it would be awesome.
Okay, bueno, hago todo lo posible y agradezco mucho a todos los estudiantes del futuro que han venido a esta presentación. Bueno, la diferencia más grande sobre todos los programas que es de Intensive Academic English enfoca solamente a mejorar la enseñanza de inglés académico para éxito en la universidad y en el posgrado. El programa de Intensive Professional English es si usted está trabajando con una compañía, una organización sin fines de lucro, etcétera, un gobierno, y quiere mejorar su inglés profesional. Eso es Intensive Professional English. Y Intensive Language se enfoca en el inglés para conversación. Y son las tres cosas de programa que tenemos. Y también de online, empezando en julio, es el programa de American Conversational English, que también se enfoca en inglés para platicar, de conversacional.
Muchísimas gracias, Regan. Bueno, pues hemos llegado al final de este webinar. Les agradecemos muchísimo por acompañarnos. Aquí en pantalla tienen el email y la página de Georgetown para que se pongan en contacto con ellos. Y también les haremos llegar su información en caso de que quieran y tengan algunas dudas más específicas para que puedan contactarse directamente. Thank you very much, Regan, Maddie, and Christina for being here with us today. It was a great webinar. I don't know if you want to say anything to the students before we go.
I would just like to say that we thank you for having us. We were happy to talk to you, and we really hope that we can see you in person as students in our program.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. If you have any specific questions, again, just send us an email. Just want to repeat that one last time, and we'll get back to you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias a todos.
Thank you.
Pronto. Bye-bye.
Bye.